Let's talk about how to buy a business car with bad personal credit. Okay, so bad credit in general, I'm gonna show you how to navigate the whole process, and it's really important to understand that the whole thing revolves around personal guarantee. Because see, when you buy a business car, right, you are basically pledging a guarantee, a personal guarantee, as a business owner, which is something you don't want anyway. You do not want to have. And it's really important to really understand the whole thing about personal guarantee, because at the end of the day, if your business cannot really pay the car loan, they are going to come after your personal assets. It's really important to understand that if you want to buy a business car with bad credit, bad personal credit, you want to establish a business credit history. That's one of the ways where you can shield yourself from legal liability, if there is a legal liability or financial liability. Okay, so you want to really establish a business credit history. So if the personal credit is already sort of tarnished, if your personal FICO score is not really where it should be at right now, you want to focus on establishing business credit. So there are a lot of ways to do this, and you don't need to have great credit personally to qualify for business credit. It's all about how you go after the whole conversation. In other words, how do you engage with those net 30 vendors, for instance? How do you engage with those business credit card issuers? How do you engage with these business lenders? How do you engage with all kinds of business credit sources? But I want you to really focus on 3 business credit sources: banks, credit card issuers, and credit unions. Okay, and banks and credit unions, that's one category. You have credit card issuers, which are basically the same. All the banks, they actually issue credit cards, but you also have a third category that's very important. That's actually net 30 vendors. So net 30 vendors actually give you a business credit real fast, and even faster than what you would get with a credit union or a bank, unless you have a prior relationship with the institution. So you want to actually figure out how to establish business credit history before you try to buy a business car. We have had gazillions of videos about how to establish business credit history, so I'm not going to go into that here, but that's the very first thing you need to pay attention to. You gotta have business credit history. And also, don't forget, you need to also have a DUNS number. So you gotta go to Dun & Bradstreet and actually get your DUNS number. It's free anyway. Boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. So after establishing business credit history, you need to build business credit right now. So first of all, you got to establish it. So establishing means what? You got to have maybe a business credit card or a net 30 or 2 or 3 net 30 accounts. You need to maybe have a business loan. This could be a small business loan amount. That's not a problem. What you want is the net 30 vendors, you want the business lenders, you want the business credit card issuers to report your data to Equifax Business, to Dun & Bradstreet, and Experian Business. Those are the top 3 business credit bureaus. Okay, so it's important to actually, when we talk about building business credit, it goes both ways. In other words, you want to make sure that you are making all payments on time, and you are making sure that those timely payments are being reported to the top 3 that I just mentioned to you. So you got to really manage your business credit on an active basis. Okay, and one thing I want to say also is that it doesn't matter the type of business credit you have. All types of business credits are welcome. What I'm trying to say here is that if right now you cannot actually get a business loan, that you could get a business line of credit, you can get a net 30 account, hey, listen, go with it. If you can get a business equipment financing arrangement, hey, go with it. As long as the lender is reporting your data to the top 3 that I mentioned, you are going to build your credit, your business credit real fast. And it's really important to understand that at the end of the day, you need to actually separate your business affairs from your personal affairs. And a great way to do this is by having something called an EIN, an employer identification number. So you are applying for business credit using your EIN and not your social. But that way you are able to segregate your personal affairs from your business affairs. One thing I also need to say here is that when we talk about building business credit, you need to pay attention to something called your CUR, your credit utilization ratio, your company's credit utilization ratio. You want to maintain that CUR at or below 30%. So that's a great way to actually boost your business credit history, business credit score, if you will, in the long run. Also, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about how to buy a business car with bad credit. Let me quickly talk about personal guarantee. And everybody's kind of concerned about PGs. So the question is it a yes or a no if you are buying a business car with bad credit? In other words, do you want to pledge? Should you pledge a PG when buying a car? Our answer is no, you don't have to. But if need be, please do it. Yes. The thing is that if you need the car for business purposes, if you need the car for work, if you have to drive to meet clients, if you have to, let's say you are in an area where you need to have a car to be able to be mobile, then you can't really, you don't have a choice, right? But overall, you can actually buy a business car without pledging a personal guarantee, without pledging personal assets. If you do what I just told you, if you're able to build a business credit, if you're able to establish first business credit and then build it over time, so that you are actually buying the car with EIN only. You're buying the business car with EIN only. In other words, it doesn't matter anymore if you have bad personal credit, as long as you have good EIN. When I talk about good EIN, I'm talking about your business credit, okay? And so basically, it really depends. Now, if you need the car real fast and you really have no other choices, hey, listen, go ahead and do it. But just make sure that you actually repay the car as fast as possible, because you do not want to pledge your personal assets when running a business, okay? And it's one of those things where when you're really trying to sort of manage risks, because it's not just about you pledging personal assets, it's also actually managing risks across the board. And one thing I want to say also is that when we talk about a personal guarantee, remember that you do not have to go all the way to giving a personal guarantee. You can still pledge the company's assets. So if you have an established business and that established business has business assets, it's just better to pledge those assets than have a personal guarantee, because the personal guarantee goes really further. The personal guarantee really encompasses everything, including your personal assets. But you can restrict the geography that the bank is actually accessing in your life by just pledging business assets. The next thing you want to do here, if you want to buy a business car with bad credit, is to research lenders and financing options. So the thing is, first of all, you want to establish a business credit history. Number 2, you want to build business credit. Number 3, you want to think about whether you should give a personal guarantee or not. Number 4, you want to research lenders and financing options. The thing is, when we talk about researching lenders and financing options in connection with your business car with bad credit, if you have bad credit, you need to really see what's available to you, right? You need to really understand what kind of strategies you need to have, what kind of options you have before delving into the whole matter. And so when we talk about the sources of business credit for your business car loan, you have traditional banks such as Wells Fargo, Bank of America, JP Morgan, US Bank, PNC Bank. So with traditional banks, you have the national bank, the banks. You also have the regional banks, and then you have the local banks. It really depends on what you're looking for. Okay, so traditional banks, so Wells Fargo and Bank of America, JP Morgan, those are national banks. The regional banks, you have US Bank and PNC Bank. You may have TD Bank also. Then you have other small players such as Huntington Bank, for instance, and M&T. So that's for banks. You also have credit unions. When we talk about credit unions, we're talking about Navy Fed, for instance. You have Alliant, you have a PenFed, you have America's First Credit Union. You have a constellation of players in that sector too. And you also have online lenders. So when we talk about online lenders for your business car loan, you have you can count on Ally Financial. You have OnDeck. You have Cabbage. So this is actually nowadays they call it American Express. You also have Lending Club. You have Fundbox. So that's for, you also have, when it comes to getting a business car loan, you also have captive finance companies. So you have a Ford credit, so that's for the Ford Motor Company. You have GM Financial, so that's General Motors. You have Toyota Financial Services, this is Toyota. You have Honda Financial Services, Honda. You have Chrysler, actually Chrysler rather. You have Chrysler Capital. This is actually so this is really what you have to think about. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about how to buy a business car with bad credit. So what you want to do next is you want to prepare a solid business plan. It's really important to really, to know exactly what kind of loan you want and what kind of lender you're talking to. And some lenders want to see certain things in your business plan. But see, the thing is that you want to really focus on what the car is going to help you achieve, because just writing a business plan, it's kind of cool, but you need to sync the writing of the business plan to the purpose that you're trying to really get. Remember, you want your car you want the bank to finance your car, so you need to explain to the bank how that will benefit your operations, that will benefit your company. If you can do a good job at explaining that, you are good to go. And what we love about banks and credit unions in general is that they really will listen to you. They'll listen to you. They'll read your business plan. They will ask all kinds of questions, all kinds of interested questions to see where you are going and how they can actually accompany you. But it's one of those things where you have to really put a lot of thought into the strategy that you are going to expose. You are going to reveal to your potential lenders. And another thing I want to talk about here is that you want to apply for financing. So once you have the business plan, you got to apply for financing, and the financing can happen online. It can happen at a branch. It can happen on the phone. It can happen anywhere. It can happen via the app. Some lenders actually appreciate when you apply via the app, because it really helps them control things in a streamlined manner that way. And another thing I want to say here is that it really depends upon the strategy you have in terms of how fast you want to get the business car loan, and how fast you are willing to provide whatever documentation they ask you, whatever extra documentation they ask you to get the loan. Okay. But the bottom line here is that it's just a lot better to work through a bank with which you already have a relationship. So this could be your bank, it could be a credit union. Now, the thing here is that as you are navigating the whole process here, remember that you can always get a business auto loan without a personal guarantee. Okay, you can. I think I've said this before, but I just want to insist on that you do not have to pledge your personal assets. You want to see first if let's say if your business has assets, you can actually pledge the asset. By the way, the car that you are buying, that car actually constitutes the asset already. I mean, every car loan in general is already collateralized. Okay, so if there's a problem, you do not pay you're not making the payments for the business auto loan. They'll just come and repo the car, and not a problem. So they come and repo the car, and you have no car anymore. I mean, of course, your credit will be damaged, but at least the bank wouldn't see such a huge loss probability. One thing I want to say here is that when we talk about personal guarantee in general, remember that you are able again to talk to the lender even before you start. And if a personal guarantee is a very important criterion for you, then you need to make sure that you speak to the lender and ask all kinds of questions before. Sometimes it's just a lot better to start the conversation a little early. So if you know that you are going to buy a car loan, if you are going to apply for a car loan, let's say 6 months from now, start right now. Start having a conversation. The earlier the better, because you are giving advance notice, like enough advance notice to your lenders, so that they know exactly what kind of borrower you are and what types of expectations you have too, and they can choose to say, you know what, we like what we hear from this person, or we don't like it because this is just above our risk management strategy. And the one thing I also need to say here is that when we talk about buying a business car with bad credit, you need to also understand that it's not just the bad credit that you have to worry about here. Some lenders, and let's say by extension, insurance companies, they also worry about your driving history. So your driving history or the driving histories of the potential drivers of the car. So that's an added layer of I would say scrutiny that you have to go through. One thing I want to say here is that when we talk about, let's say if you want to get the loan that you need, right? You want to get the business car loan that you need to understand that you also have alternatives to business auto loans, because a business auto loan is not the only way that very small businesses, by the way, can purchase vehicles. In fact, there are other loan options out there that may not require the same kind of personal guarantee that a business auto loan may do. So you have equipment loans, for instance. So an equipment loan is a great alternative to a business auto loan. So these loans allow small businesses to purchase the machinery and equipment they need to keep their businesses running, and they do not require collateral in exchange for funding. So that's because these loans are secured by the machinery you have purchased yourself. If you can't pay, the lender will take the machinery back from you to recoup the loan. I mean, the debts, really. So this actually does away with the need for a personal guarantee, because the equipment's value offset the risk your lender takes by offering you the money to purchase it. We also have term loans. So term loans is a great alternative to a business auto loan. Basically, you actually can get the cash you need real fast. And what we love the fact that when we think about term loans, we love the flexibility. You can use these loans for a variety of purposes, as most do not come with specific limitations on what the borrower does with the money. You'll likely pay more interest with a term loan than you would with a business auto loan or equipment loan. But if you work with the online lender, then the approval process will be much quicker, and their credit requirements will be much more lenient. Really depends upon you. But at the end of the day, you are able to find exactly what kind of business loan work for your business car purchasing ambition, and how to go about them. And also, one thing I need to say before concluding today's conversation here is that you are able to always contact several lenders at the same time. Do not actually limit yourself to one lender. You can actually talk to 2, 3, or 4 business lenders for your car loan before you go after one. Because at the end of the day, you are trying to figure out which one has the best option for you, which one has the best offer for you. And this is how you get best prices anyway. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate today's conversation. I was just talking to you about how to buy a business car with bad credit. And I really explained a few things to you in terms of establishing a business credit history, building business credit, thinking about personal guarantees, researching lenders and financing options, preparing a solid business plan, preparing a plan for financing. Thank you. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time.